to really just utilize this start. There's a couple of we're in slightly different time zones. Not everybody is in the evening practice. So work with your own energies for tonight, for today. Work with your body, not against it. If you've not been to the yoga mat for a while, just follow my instruction as best as you can, but take it easy for your first class back. And just use this opportunity to allow the spine and the back body to melt or to be held or supported by the earth. Imagine your body being a sheet or a fabric, and when you inhale, you expand into the fibers of that fabric. And when you exhale, it slowly falls or pulls towards the earth. And just notice where you make contact. Trying to let go of holding on to any tension. Maybe letting the back of the shoulders fall to the floor or fall towards the floor. All the way down the arms, past the elbow, towards the fingers. Noticing where the breath goes. Notice how when we lie down, gravity pulls on the belly or the abdomen. And then in your own time, starting to build on your rhythm, your breath, equal in-breath, equal out-breath. Maybe breathing with sound, so closing the mouth and circulating the breath at the back of the throat, in through the nose, out through the nose. Maybe if it's in your practice, you could engage root lock or mula bandha. So that pulling in or lifting at the root of the body near the pelvis or pelvic area, I should say. Just brings a sense of pulling inwards, control or holding on to the energy. And still holding on to that rhythm of the breath, lifting the soles of the feet, pulling the knees in towards the chest, hugging the knees in a little, maybe rocking side to side on the spine. Maybe taking the knees in a rotation, so we start to massage into the pelvis, sacrum, tailbone, taking the knees round in whatever direction feels good to you. Take it in the opposite direction. And maybe hug yourself in. So lift your head and shoulders, wrap your arms around the shins or the knees, curling into a little ball, into egg asana, we'll call it. So just holding here, balancing into the spine, pull the core in, rounding into the shoulders. Just noticing as you're compressed, your breath maybe rises towards the collarbone. As you breathe in, maybe pushing the legs away slightly. As you exhale, bring the head and shoulders down. Keep the knees in towards the chest. Taking your hands off the knees, we're going to bring them either overhead, reaching them away, or maybe you'd prefer to take them to cactus, out towards the sides of the body. So as long as your shoulder blades or the back of your body is in contact with the floor, we're going to start taking our knees from one side to the other. If your arms are in cactus, you'll have more control, so you'll be able to slow the motion down. If you feel quite comfortable, you might take it towards the diamond shape and work your core a little. You decide. My preference would be hands in cactus. You just have a little bit more control over the spine. So breathing in as you come to center, exhale as you twist to the side, knees fall. They don't need to touch the ground. Breathing in as you pull them back up. Exhale as they fall to the other side. Inhale as they come up. Exhale as they fall. Using the arms and the shoulders as a kind of anchor point for the top of the body. So you can take the twist through the spine, all the way to the hips and the pelvis. Moving side to side with your breath, no rush. No expectation that the knees touch the floor. If you feel you're not able to control the descent, pull the belly button in a little, as if to engage your core. Every movement is with your breath. A couple more times to each side. Coming back into center. Bringing the soles of the feet down. Bring your hands back overhead towards the knees. Keep the right foot down, but pull the left knee in towards the chest. And then place that left ankle at the back of the right knee that's high. So we're coming to a reclined pigeon or reclined figure four. You could hold here if this feels comfortable, maybe with both of your hands resting on that left shin. Or maybe you want to pull that right knee in towards the body, maybe wrapping and interlacing the fingers around that right knee or right shin, slowly encouraging it towards the body. Just notice where you feel the muscles lengthen, where you feel tightness or compression. It should feel comfortable, it shouldn't be strained, but you should still be able to feel maybe some of the muscles through the glutes, so the buttocks, through the under thigh, so the hamstring, towards the knee, maybe the ankle. Head and shoulders on the floor. So we're already working into the hip joint here. Our practice this evening will be a mix of yin and yang, so energy and stillness. Autumn is a time for pulling energy inwards, so it's a mix of yin and yang. Two more nice deep breaths here. As you exhale, bringing the right sole of the foot down onto the floor, taking your fingers apart, taking the arms out, bringing them up overhead so that you create a diamond shape. So bring the hands down onto the floor behind your head. Elbows are sticking out, which is the kind of the diamond shape with the arms and the body. The closer they are to your forehead, the more relaxed you can be in the shoulders and the elbow. The further away they are, the more you're going to kind of work into the shoulders and the mid-back. We're going to keep the left leg where it is, on the top of or behind the right knee. And we're going to let the left sole of the foot fall towards the floor so that the right knee comes down and the left knee is high. Allow your body to twist. Then maybe look up towards the sky, or the ceiling, I should say. Imagine it's the sky. Or maybe look in the opposite direction. So let your head fall towards the left. Again, just breathing into this space. You can imagine that your body is the fabric. If you're feeling tight, you're feeling like you're holding with tension, expand into the body with the breath. Even if it's just a visualization, as you exhale, allow that tension to dissipate or fall. Two more breaths here, nice and deep. Nice inhale and exhale for one. Another deep inhale and exhale for two. As you next inhale, bringing the head back to center, slowly lifting the feet up, almost as if the left ankle pulls the right knee up. Unhooking the left ankle, bringing both knees in towards the chest. Rock side to side or do a couple of rotations with the knees in one direction. Taking it in the opposite. This time taking the left sole of the foot down onto the mat, keeping the right knee in towards the chest. Let's move to the opposite side. So right ankle comes to the back of the left knee. You could hold here, pushing that right shin away or holding on with both hands if you want it a bit more relaxed. Or you could lift the left sole of the foot, reach your hands around, interlace the fingers at the knee or the shin. And again, just holding here, feeling a lengthening through the hip, glutes, hamstring, up towards the knee, maybe down towards the ankle. Don't pull so much that it's uncomfortable, but just enough that you can feel it. Another 2 or 3 breaths here. remembering that an inhale and an exhale counts as one. Noticing that if you breathe deeply into the body, you can expand into the hip area, or imagine that down into your glutes, into your buttocks. When you next exhale, bringing the left sole of the foot down onto the floor, taking the fingers apart, reaching those hands up and overhead, again bringing it towards that diamond shape. Relaxing into the back, into the shoulders and the elbows, and then letting the right sole of the foot fall towards the left, so that the left knee is coming down to the floor, right knee is high. Looking up towards the ceiling, or letting your head fall in the opposite direction. So for those that don't normally do a yin practice, yin yoga allows us to work into the yin tissues, which are your bones, your ligaments, your joints, your tendons, even the fascia, which is the kind of connective tissue that both connects all of your organs, all of your muscles, but also separates all of these different groups from one another. And it's a way of working into these yin tissues at the same time as working into the yang. So we do it by holding some of these poses similar to these for longer periods, with a gentle stress into some of these areas. So in case you feel like you're doing nothing, you are. Just being able to find stillness is an achievement. We live in even in lockdown, we live in a busy world. We have adapted and found more things to do in our houses. 2 more rounds of breath here. When you next inhale, that's your opportunity to take the head back to center, lift the legs up, taking that right ankle off the left knee, bringing both knees in towards the chest. Maybe rock side to side, maybe take the knees in a couple of rotations in one direction, then in the other. This time we're going to reach the feet up towards the sky. You can do it relaxed, so keep a softness in the knees. You can hold on to the back of your thighs, or you could take your hands to the back of the knees. Your head and shoulders can stay on the mat at the moment. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. But you're going to push the heels up towards the sky, flexing the toes back towards the body, just noticing that movement through the back of the knee and the calf muscle. Then change that movement, try and point your toes up towards the sky. Ooh, notice that pull through the front of the feet and the ankle. Pushing the heel now, so that we're moving between the heel, pushing away, or the sole of the foot, pointing with the toes. Moving to push with the heel. If you want to include some core, you could pull your belly button in, pull your head and shoulders off the mat, crunching in with the stomach, so working just to lift your upper body off the mat. You don't need to, this is just an option for those that want to engage core or work a little bit into back strength, moving between heels and toes. Heels and toes. And then just take the heels or the feet round in a circle, so kind of rotating as if you're drawing a small circle with your toes. It feels a bit unusual, my toes are all over the place. Take it in the opposite direction. Oh, Rob, I'm impressed. You're able to do both feet moving in the same direction. I can't mind going opposite, all over the place. let the head and shoulders come down, soften into the knees, and then just start to roll or rock into your back. Backwards and forwards, building up a little bit of motion as if to work yourself towards a seat. Just enjoy that movement through the spine, moving some liquids of the lymphatic system, which uses body motion to move rather than like the heart that pumps blood. Your lymphatic system uses the body in movement to move liquids, or the liquids around. So come to all fours when you're ready, or tabletop. We're going to do some of my favorites, but they're really good for the body. I've had to get a personal trainer. Imagine that, the yoga teacher that needs a personal trainer. But most of you know I've had some shoulder injuries. We're going to do some rotations. So just do small rotations, taking the body out to the side, over the wrists, round to the other side, back towards the knee. Do this with your chin, just pulling in towards your chest. Flex the toes, push them down into the mat so you stretch through the sole of the foot. And just do some small rotations. So I had to go and see my I had to book in with a personal trainer to try and kind of figure out what's been going wrong with my shoulder, what's triggering it, and what he could recommend to repair it. So he's a body coach and a personal trainer. And as he was giving me my routine, it's like threading the needle, cat-cow, rotations that we're doing just now, and then a few other things. But he was saying how important these three movements are, just doing rotations to work in with the arms straight and with the chin tucked towards the chest. Taking small movements is really good for the whole of the arm, rounding into the shoulder, between the shoulder blades and the spine. And if you can flex your toes, you work into the soles of the feet. Take it in the opposite direction now, but maybe expand that rotation. So taking a little bit more weight towards the heels so that you start to stretch into the feet a little as well. Then for the last few breaths, make it your own. So change up your position if you want to. Undulate through the spine, or maybe take your hips or bum closer to your heels. Linking it to the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to neutral. Trying, if you can, just to make sure your wrists are roughly as wide as your shoulders, stacked underneath the shoulder. Knees are about as wide as your hips. We're going to work into some cat-cow. So taking a nice deep breath in, push the bum away, curve through the spine, looking towards the horizon, maybe release into the shoulders. As you exhale, push down into the hands, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin in towards itself, in towards each other as you push the spine away. As you inhale, moving through to cow. As you exhale, pushing away. Inhale to cow. Exhale as you push away. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, moving with your breath and your movement. 3 more rounds, so 3 inhale, exhales. Moving with your breath. 1 more inhale and exhale. Coming back to neutral. And we're going to do a moving thread the needle. So rather than going diving straight into our thread the needle, we'll kind of dive down twice, and on the third time we'll come down and hold it. So I'm going to push into my right hand, take my knees just a little wider. As I inhale, I reach up with the left hand up towards the sky, pulling the shoulder blades together, creating space between the neck and the shoulders as well. As I exhale, softening into the body, reaching the hand down and under. Don't let it touch. As you inhale, pull it back out. As you exhale, diving down, reaching under. Inhale to pull it out. This time, as you exhale and reach under, keeping the palm facing up towards the sky, coming down onto that shoulder, down onto the side of the face. Try and feel the weight coming down into the shoulder, into the side of the head, so the hips are high. Maybe taking that opposite hand, pushing it into the mat, push your body away, taking a twist through the spine. If you know thread the needle and it's within your kind of poses or repertoire, you can add on anything that you might normally. So that might mean reaching, for me it'll be reaching the right leg away because I'm leaning into my left shoulder, allowing me to take more weight into the left. Holding here for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. As you exhale, if the knee or leg was high, bringing it down. As you inhale, uncurling, pulling yourself out, reaching that hand up. Exhale, bringing it back down to the floor, just adjusting if the change or if you've changed the shape of your stance. We're going to inhale, reach. I'm going to reach my right hand up towards the sky. Exhale as you soften into the body, reaching it down and under. Inhale as you pull it out, reaching up. Exhale, reaching under and away. Inhale, reaching up, pulling it out, reaching up. And this time as you exhale, taking the arm down and under. Taking the side of the face or the head down. Taking the weight forwards into the head and the shoulder. Maybe pushing into the left hand this time to push the body away. Holding here, feeling that twist. Maybe if it's in your practice to do so, leaning into the right knee, right shoulder, lifting and reaching the left leg away, the left leg. The toes stay on the mat, but the foot is a bit like downward facing dog. And this can work a little bit of balance into the pose. For 5 breaths. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Bringing that left knee that might have been up or left foot down. Slowly, as you inhale, working that arm out, reaching it up and away. Exhale as the hand comes down to the mat. Just holding here for a couple of breaths. Just allowing the feeling in the body to come back to what might be normal for you. And then we're going to work into a downward facing dog. So taking the hands a little further out in front, tuck the toes or flex the toes, pushing them down into the mat. Hover the knees off the ground. We're going to hold in bear pose for a few breaths. So as we hover the knees, pull the belly in, push into the hands, push into the toes. So you're nice and active. The closer the knees are to the floor, the more we're going to work the core. 4, 5. 4, maybe looking down in between your thumbs. 3. 2. And 1. Lifting the hips up, taking them over for downward facing dog. When you get there, let's walk the dog. So walking the dog, coming up onto the ball of one foot, down into the heel of the other, bending in at the knees. You can sway through the spine if it feels good to do so. So you kind of look under each of the arms of the opposite leg. So this moves into the shoulders a little. If this feels like too much movement for a downward facing dog, just do pedaling or walking the dog from neutral. We're going to do this for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Let's just hold our downward facing dog. So maybe the heels push down towards the floor a little. Remember, you can soften into your knees and push your bum away. Nice and long through the spine, all the way down through the arms to the fingers. If your fingers are spread out at 100% stretch, lessen off a little. Take it to about 80% stretch through the fingers. Let the head be heavy, so release any tension. Let it just hang. Pull the belly button in a little for 4. 3. 2. And 1. Softening at the knees. As you inhale, let's take tiny little steps. Let's walk our feet up towards our hands. There's no rush for you to get here. Take your time. The more steps you take, the more control you have to put. Trying to keep your fingers, your hands touching the floor. Bend into the knees as much as you need to. When you do get to the top, take your feet a little bit apart. So roughly you should be able to fit a hand in between your feet for space. Come to a half lift. So bringing yourself, your hands onto your knees maybe, or into the shins. Taking a nice breath in here, Ardha Uttasana. Then we're going to exhale and fold forward. So hold on to each elbow, creating a kind of square with your shoulder, your arms and your forearms. Soften into the knees. Let your belly rest on your thigh if you need to. Your bum can stick out as much as you want it to. Nobody can see you. Let the head fall in between your biceps. Equal pressure through the soles of the feet from toe to heel. If you do want a little bit more length through the back of the legs, slowly take your belly off the thigh and straighten into the legs a little. Maybe feeling a bit more pressure through the toes or the ball of the foot. Otherwise, we're just going to hang out here for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Let the hands go. Let the body be heavier. Let the upper body be heavy as you start to lift yourself towards standing. So we're kind of ragdolling through the body. Maybe lengthening through the legs first. Pull the belly button in. Then starting to uncurl through the spine as if each vertebrae layers on top of the next. as you slowly come up towards standing. When you feel you're ready to, lift the shoulders up towards the ears, taking a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, let the hands come down by your sides. Closing your eyes here. Just noticing how you feel after a little bit of movement, slow movement. Notice if you're holding tension or tightness anywhere in the body. You can let the breath go out through the mouth if you wish. Two more. Nice full deep breaths, especially after compression. One more. Releasing or relaxing to the shoulders. Bring your feet about hip width distance apart, so maybe bringing them a little wider. Actually, you could probably take them a little wider than hip width distance apart. This will make this next bit a bit easier. I'll face the camera for this. But we're going to soften down into the knees, so as if you're coming towards taking a seat. So your knees come out slightly, but bend as much as you need to bring your fingertips to the floor. So I'll turn back to the side. If your bum needs to stick out, let your bum stick out, but bring your fingertips to the floor. Your feet can even be as wide as your mat if you want them to. So we're doing a kind of Prasarita Padottanasana, so a version of a wide leg forward fold, but we're going to take it to a twist. So we're going to Parivarita Prasarita Padottanasana, I think is what we should be doing. So it's really just a forward fold twist with your fingertips on the floor. If you have blocks, if you really can't get your whole body to the floor, if you have blocks, bring the blocks in front of you and push your hands into the blocks so that you've got a little bit of the floor coming up to meet the body. And that makes it a little bit nicer sometimes. But you're going to keep your left fingertips down into the floor. And as you breathe in, you're going to reach and twist that right hand up towards the sky, or maybe just out towards the right. Pull the belly button in a little. Bend into that left knee as much as you need to in order to take the twist. Noticing if you play about with the legs, it changes how this feels. As you exhale, letting that hand come down to the floor. Swapping, inhale as the opposite hand comes up towards the mat. Bending into the right knee this time can help you take the twist or take some of the pressure off the lower half of the body. Exhale as the left hand comes down. Inhale as the right hand comes up. If you push down into the right heel, you might lengthen through the calf muscle all the way up to the glute. If you do that and it feels horrible, stop. Exhale, the hand comes down. Inhale, the opposite hand comes up. So you can play about in this pose once you understand what you're doing. Exhale as the hand comes down. Inhale, opposite side. 2 breaths on either side. Exhale as the hand comes down. Inhale, opposite side. Or working with your breath for 3 more rounds. Two more rounds. Last time to either side. And as you finally exhale, both hands come to the floor. Soften into the knees, slowly ragdoll yourself up towards standing. So pushing into the legs. Lifting the shoulders up towards the ears, pulling the arms or the muscles down through the back body. Walking the feet a little closer together. Ready or coming towards the top of the mat. We're going to work through a couple of sun salutations. The first one will be sun salutation A from start to finish. The second one, rather than coming back to the top of the mat and finishing in standing pose, Tadasana or Samastitihi, we'll work towards Warrior 2 and start to work into the hips through Warrior 2 and extended side angle. So toes can be touching or maybe just a little bit of space between the feet. As you inhale, reaching to mountain pose. Exhale, pull the belly in, forward fold, Uttasana. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttasana. Exhale as the hands plant, stepping back, lowering down through Chaturanga Dandasana. Of your choice, knees can come down. Make sure the blocks aren't in the way for your face. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, you can come through all fours, tuck into the toes, downward facing dog. Holding a nice still downward facing dog for 5. 4. 3. 2. Inhale here, soften into the knees. Step or jump both feet up in between your hands. Taking that inhale through to your half lift. Exhale, Uttasana, forward fold. Inhale all the way back up to mountain pose. Exhale, Samastitihi, hands by your side. One more time. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fold forwards, Uttasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttasana, half lift. Exhale, hands come to the floor, stepping back towards plank, lowering down through Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog for 3 breaths this time. For 3. 2. And 1. Staying here in downward facing dog. We're going to inhale for 3-leg dog, lifting the right leg, reaching it away behind. Bringing that right heel over towards your left glute for a scorpion dog variation, or dog peeing on a lamppost. So depending on how high you move that knee up towards the sky, will depend on how open you take it into the hip. We're going to hold here for 3, 2, and 1. As you exhale, bringing the knee in towards the belly and the chest, stepping that foot down in between your hands. Holding here as you inhale. Exhale, looking back at that left foot. Let the left heel drop into the floor. And as you inhale, rise up into Warrior 2. So your arms reach out. You've got a bend or a right angle into your right knee, and your left foot is pushing down into the mat. The pinky side of the foot is in line with the short edge of the mat. And you're looking towards the middle finger of that right hand for 3, 4, 2, and 1. As you exhale, bend into the right arm, taking the right elbow to the right knee, reaching the left hand up and over. Parshvottanasana or Utthita Parshvottanasana, extended side angle. Really sink into the legs. This is where the strength comes from. That right elbow could be just hovering if you wanted to work on your leg strength, just above the right knee. Otherwise, you're reaching the left hand up and away. For 2, And 1, as you inhale, using that leg strength, taking the upper body back towards warrior 2. Exhale, left hand comes to the left thigh, right hand reaches up towards the sky, reverse warrior. Again, sinking into the legs, reaching away with that right hand for 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, hands come back towards warrior 2. Inhale here. Exhale as you sweep that left hand up and over, taking it down to the mat, either side of that right foot. Stepping back to plank, lowering down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog for 3, 2, and 1. As you inhale, left leg reaches out behind for 3-leg dog. Left heel comes towards the right glute this time, scorpion dog variation. So we're working into the hip area. The more you lift and release with that knee, the more you'll work into the hip or the abductors, hip flexors. For 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, pulling that left knee in towards the belly and the chest, stepping the left foot down as close as you can in between your hands. Inhale here. Exhale as the right heel swivels and pushes down into the mat, rising up as you inhale into warrior 2. This time we're bending into the left knee, reaching away with both hands, looking towards the front finger. Holding here for 3, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. And 1. Inhale here. Exhale as you bend into the left arm, taking the left elbow to the left knee, reaching the right hand up and over. Again, try to push down into the leg or foundation of the feet, feeling that stretch in between or into the inner thigh, inner groin area. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale here, back up to your warrior 2. Exhale, that's reverse the warrior. Right hand comes to the back of the right leg. Left hand reaches up towards the sky. For 3, and 2, and 1. Exhale back to your warrior 2. Inhale here. Exhale as you sweep that or windmill that back hand up and over, taking it to the floor. Stepping the left foot back to plank. Lowering down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, opposite side. Right leg reaches away, 3-legged dog. Right heel comes towards the left glute. Again, we're taking that scorpion dog variation. This time, maybe that right foot wants to fall towards the left a little. For 3, 2, and 1. As you exhale, knee comes towards belly and the chest. Foot steps in between your hands. Inhale here. Exhale, left heel swivels and touches down into the mat. Inhale, rising up into your warrior 2. Sinking into that right knee, pushing away with the left sole of the foot. Reaching both arms out in front. Space between the shoulders and the neck. For 3, 2, And one, as you exhale, elbow comes toward right elbow, right knee, reaching the hands up and over. If it's in your practice to do so, you could maybe take the right hand down to the floor, right fingers to the floor for a full extended Parshvottanasana. Or just join me with elbow on knee for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, rising up to your warrior 2. Exhale, taking it to reverse warrior. Left arm on the left leg, right hand up towards the sky. Holding here for 3, and 2, and 1. Exhale, taking it back towards your warrior 2. Inhale here, lengthen into that front right leg as if we're doing a star shape or starfish. Exhale, reaching forwards with the right fingers, taking them down, maybe onto the knee, maybe to the shin, maybe the ankle or the floor, reaching the left hand up towards the sky for Trikonasana, triangle pose. You can, again, if you haven't been for a while, bend into the knee and hold yourself here with the arms straight up to the sky. Otherwise, we're holding Trikonasana for 3, 2, really feeling it through the legs, pushing down into the soles of the feet, leaning into the back. And 1. Exhale, soften into the right knee as you look to the floor. Inhale, lifting back up towards your warrior 2. Exhale, sweeping those back hands up and over, windmilling them to the floor. From plank, from here, step to plank. Lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, moving to downward facing dog or child's pose for 3 breaths. For 1. And 2. And 3. If you're in child's pose, making your way up to downward facing dog. Inhale here, 3-leg dog on the opposite side. Left leg reaches up and away. Taking the left heel towards the right glute for 3. And 2. Left foot almost falling towards the right. And 1. Exhale, pulling the left knee in towards the belly and the chest, stepping the foot forward in between your hands. Inhale here. Exhale, right heel touches down. Inhale as you rise up into your warrior 2. Sinking into the left knee, pushing away with the right foot, looking towards the top of the mat or that front hand. Middle finger for 3. And 2. And 1. As you exhale, bending into the left arm, left elbow, left knee, right hand up and over. Leaning into that left leg as your support, but pushing or sinking for 3. Left hand could come to the floor if it's in your practice to do so. If not, just following me for 2. And 1. Inhale, lifting yourself back up to your warrior 2. Exhale into that reverse warrior. Left hand reaches up to the sky. Right hand reaches down the right leg. For 3. And 2. 1. Exhale back towards warrior 2. Inhale, lengthen into that front leg. Remember, you can, I should have said the first time, but you can walk the back leg in a little if you need to. Sometimes I'm a bit too short in my legs. From here, inhale into this starfish. Exhale as you reach the left fingers forward, bringing them down, maybe to the knee, maybe to the shin or the ankle. Maybe you don't need them on the body at all and they're just reaching towards the floor, right hand up towards the sky for 3 in Trikonasana. Strong through the foundation. 2. Feel like your back is leaning slightly backwards, opening into the chest. And 1, as you exhale, soften into the left knee, looking down to the floor. Inhale back up to your warrior 2. Exhale as you sweep that back hand up and over, windmilling both hands to the floor. Stepping the left foot back to plank, lowering down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, taking yourself back to downward facing dog. Then come down onto your knees for child's pose or your variation. Knees could be wide, toes touching, hips coming back towards your heels. Or take puppy pose, bum is a little higher, forearms come down onto the floor into a triangle shape, forehead comes down. Relieve some of the pressure into the hip. Taking 10 nice long breaths here. For 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 5. 6. 7. 8. Allowing that breath to calm the body and the mind. 9. And 10. When you're ready, slowly working your way back towards tabletop. So maybe the hands come closer to the body. Lifting yourself up towards all fours. And rather than doing this through downward facing dog, we're going to come towards our kind of dragon. I'll say dragon, but it's a kind of lizard or dragon, depending on what type of yoga you go to. I'll do my right foot coming forward. So keeping my hands where they are, I'm going to take the right foot forward. So it's on the outside of the arms, with the foot about as wide as the mat. So if I face the camera, it kind of looks like this. Create as much space as you need to. With the back leg, you can bring the knee a bit further back. If this is feeling uncomfortable, grabbing a blanket or a cushion or folding up a towel, something to maybe just go under that back knee if you need to. In fact, I'm going to do the opposite side just for what I'm going to be doing to let you see. So this would be classed as a baby dragon or baby lizard. And what I'm going to ask you to do is just take some small circles with the hips. So just kind of moving into the hips, over the wrists a tiny little bit. Working into this area. In fact, I'm going to have to go to this. Please ignore me. I'm just trying to think what I need to show you and where my body needs to be. And then slowly stopping here, leaning. If you've got your left foot forward, lean into your right hand, so leaning the opposite way of the leg, and bring the same hand on top of the same knee. So you're bringing the hand that's on the same side as the leg. Take a little twist if you can, as if to look over that particular knee or over the shoulder even. You can allow the pelvis to drop if you wish. We're going to hold this one just for 3. 2. And 1. Looking back towards the kind of the top of the mat. Look down at that foot that's at the front that you've got your hand on top of. Lift the big toe in the arch of the foot so that you balance on the pinky side of the foot. Lift it up as if to let the knee fall out. So if I face forwards for you to see this, the toe, the arch of the foot and the big toe lifts up and the knee falls out to the side just a little. It takes some of the pressure off the ankle, the knee, and the inner hip. We're going to then take that twist again. Notice that the opposite pelvis maybe wants to drop to the floor slightly. Looking over that shoulder this time for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Bringing the sole of the foot back down. Bringing the hand down onto the floor also. Holding in your baby dragon for just a moment. We're going to walk the hands away from that knee now. So walking away from the knee. You can stay on the fingertips, or you can come down onto the hands, or you could come down onto the forearms. I'm just going to stay up. I think most people will be staying up. And we're just taking ourselves away from this foot at the front. For 5. Notice what's happening into the inner thigh or inner groin area for 4. 3. 2. And 1. Walking the hands back towards the foot. I'll change my position just for this so you can see this next bit. We're almost done on this side. We're just going to start to push the hips backwards and forwards. So it's like we're coming towards half splits or Hanumanasana. So we're working to between monkey pose and a baby dragon, backwards and forwards. Just releasing into the pelvis, into the knee, into the hip joint for 2. And 1. Bringing the foot that you had forwards back towards tabletop. And then just wag the tail. So kind of wag your bum side to side. Moving into the spine. We're going to take the opposite foot forward. So this time for me, it's my right foot that's coming forward this time. Again, from here, we're just going to take those small rotations, just little movements through the ankle, the knee, the hip joint, the wrists and the shoulders. You'll be glad to know we're done after we've done this side. And just bringing that to stillness. This time leaning into the opposite hand of the foot that you have forwards. And then the same hand with the same side comes up onto the knee first. Taking that gentle twist just for 3 breaths, looking in the opposite direction. Notice how this feels on your body. Where do you feel the strain or the stretch? With your hand on the knee. For 2. And 1. Breathing out, just bring your head back towards center. I've got my right foot forward, so I've got my right hand on the right knee. And then we're going to look down at that foot. We're going to lift the big toe in the arch of the foot so that you balance on the pinky side. And then using the right hand on the right knee, just pushing it out slightly as if it's falling towards the floor. Leaning into the opposite arm, taking that twist again. Looking over the shoulder, but keeping the hand on the knee. This time for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the sole of the foot back down first. Bringing that hand that was on the knee back to the floor. Holding here just for a second. Then as you exhale, walking the hands and the body away from that knee that's forward or the leg that's forward. So taking it in the opposite direction. Holding here for 3, for 2, and 1. Walking the hands back towards that foot. We're almost there. Let's just rock backwards and forwards between Ardha Hanumanasana, half monkey pose, and our baby dragon. Just forwards and backwards for 3, for 2, and 1. Walking that right foot back towards tabletop. And then make yourself cozy. Bring yourself down towards Shavasana. Or if you want to keep up with your practice of shoulder stand, you could take a couple of minutes in shoulder stand. Then bring yourself towards Shavasana. Or just take yourself straight to Shavasana. Make yourself comfy. Shoulder stand's quite nice just to change the movement or energy in the body. If you wanted to take a really relaxed version, you could take legs up the wall. If you haven't done shoulder stand with me before and it's not in your repertoire, we'll come back to it again in a couple of weeks. But for today, just take yourself to Shavasana or seated meditation. Just remember that your Shavasana can be anything you need it to be. Child's pose, seated, movement. You decide. It's your close of your practice for a couple of minutes. And those in Shavasana, maybe just expanding that breath in through the body, down towards fingers and toes. Bringing movement back to these areas first, and then reawaken the rest of the body. Introducing movement that feels good for you. Slowly, in your own way, in your own time, if you want to close the practice with me, gently bringing yourself back towards a seat in your own way. We'll close our practice chanting Om. So, chanting Om, taking the vibration from the beginning of time into our bodies, allowing it to pass through us and be with us till the end of today. Maybe taking your hands into prayer close to your heart space, or maybe even opening your hands out over your heart, feeling for your heartbeat. I won't make a joke, but taking a nice deep breath in towards the belly and the lungs. Thank you for sharing your Monday night practice with me. Thank you for your energy as well.